Hello folks, and welcome to Paddock Pass, your pre-race edition for the inaugural round of the 2022 Formula One World Championship. And I've got to say, it feels great to be back. As is tradition, there is something of an air of a first day back at school on arrival here. But it's more than that, because the new era of Formula One has arrived. And with it, the eagerly anticipated new car regulations, which have been designed to help promote better racing. With clean sculpted lines, swooping rear and front wings, which should allow cars to follow each other more closely, new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres, the return of ground effect, and a reduction of aerodynamic physical adornments, the new cars look strikingly different, all while improving safety and pushing the limit of technical ingenuity. So then, which teams have interpreted the rules most effectively, and which drivers will adapt to their new car the quickest, leading the charge against the rest of the pack? Only time will tell. As always, we can't wait for this season to begin, but for now, from us, that's your...
Finally, after a long wait, career mode is back on the channel and we are here for a Road to Glory with Aston Martin. Now, this was by far the most popular choice. I've done a poll on the community tab a few weeks ago and you guys overwhelmingly, I'd say, suggested or voted, should I say, for Aston Martin. So here we are, we're going to try it and take them to the top, and that is going to be the long-term objective of this series. Now for this first season, we're going to keep things default, plain, simple, vanilla, and then the mods will come back in season 2. Now on screen you can see the assists and all the settings I'm running for this first season. If you guys are going to enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, guys. This is massive for the channel. I can't wait to get back on the career mode grind. Hopefully you guys enjoy it and stick with me for the journey. It's going to be a bit of a slog, especially the first I think season is going to be a bit of a tough one, but hopefully things will improve. You can see on screen I'm going for reduced values in terms of myself and the AI on default, so we're going to be constantly fighting that battle to catch up and make up ground in the development race. Now with that said, you can see we are using 110 AI as always for this career mode, along with a bunch of simulation settings. Now as you can see, we are here at the team selection screen and we're going to go ahead and select Aston Martin, and we're also going to replace Sebastian Vettel with Lance Stroll as our teammate as we kick off the 2022 season. Now with that said, you can see we have the car under wraps. You guys already know what the machine looks like. We have 300k in terms of money to spend, along with 1,200 R&D points, and we are level 1 on Team Acclaim. So let's rattle through some updates. We have 2 weeks until the first race starts, so plenty of time for upgrades. And here we have a welcome from Mike Crack, who says hello and welcomes us to the team. Now along with that, you can see on screen we have the facilities laid out for us this season, and Aston Martin have level 2 everything on durability, along with level 2 quality control on chassis and aero, which is really good. So that means hopefully upgrades shouldn't fail that often, so when they arrive they should hopefully be good with no issues and we can make some decent progress. Along with that, you can see on screen we are the second from worst team, and that is a bit of a concern. We have 6 upgrades on durability, 2 on the powertrain, and nothing so far on aero and chassis, so you can already tell where the first bit of development is going to be focused on. The aero is the worst part of the car. We are rock bottom behind Williams, whereas on the chassis we're actually second from bottom. So the first priority here is spending the points that we have on a double aero upgrade for the front and the rear to improve things moving forward. With that said, we skipped ahead a few days, nothing really happened. We've got the car reveal, and then tomorrow we have those upgrades, hopefully fingers crossed, arriving. So first of all, let's reveal the AMR 22. Now then, you guys know what the car looks like. We're ready for the first race weekend of the season, Bahrain. However, before that, as I mentioned, we had the upgrades and they have both successfully arrived. You can see on screen now, this is how the pecking order is looking heading into the first round. everyone bringing upgrades into this first race, so it's doesn't really mean much in terms of, our own performance, the upgrades that we've brought. Now, with that said, you can see we have the tyre allocation, which is now actually working, which is really good. It wasn't working in my team career mode, and we've gone for the harder allocation, for the reason being, I'm not expecting to be fast here, especially in qualifying. I'm expecting to have better race pace, so I want to have more mediums and more hards available in case there's a safety car, a virtual safety car, or whatever happens, we have strategy options available. One last thing of admin before we get into the action is that we got a few more R&D points over the last 2 weeks, so I went ahead and purchased a chassis upgrade for weight reduction. Seeing as both air upgrades on the car with no failures, we can afford to get that extra upgrade onto the car. Now, these are my camera settings, guys, so make a note if you want to use them in the Aston Martin. Feel free to copy and use at your own will. But yeah, we're going to jump into practice for the first time this season as we rattle through the practice program for the first time in a long time, as even on my team I was basically simulating these towards the end. Track acclimatization went without any issues, pretty smooth. We then went into the race strategy program, and this also went pretty smoothly as the pace was actually surprisingly strong, to be fair, on the medium tyre. I was quite impressed. Tyre wear, though, was a bit of an issue, and you'll see here our pace was really good in terms of the simulations, but the tyre wear was a bit of an issue, which we're going to have to try and fix in the race. Finally, we took care of the qualifying performance test, and I couldn't beat this one. I actually fouled, so I'm not going to get a maximum score. However, we took care of it in FP2 by quickly doing a quick sim and getting maximum points. So after practice, we got pretty much the maximum points available, and we bring our total up to 1,200 points, along with a bunch of discounts, which will hopefully help us out in future upgrades moving forward. But guys, it's time. Qualifying, the first one of the season. Let's get into it. Here we are then, Sakir, night skies, and we're ready to hopefully get the season off to a good start, and fingers crossed things go well. I will say, after practice, I'm going to be quite reserved with objectives. I'm banking on the race pace being stronger, hence the tyre allocation. The car does feel a bit of a handful to drive, I'm not going to lie, so yeah, I'm hoping that we can have a better performance, let's say, in the race. For qualifying, it's going to be essentially trying to just maximise a result really and not finish last. That's kind of the key thing here. I think ideally finishing ahead of the Williams would be a good objective, along with beating our teammates. So first lap, not exactly ideal. We have a moment on the exit of turn 3 and we run out of bounds and invalidate. So I took the rest of the lap to just basically cruise and not use too much fuel. We encounter Lance, who's actually on an in-lap, so I'm going to get back onto the racing line and get underway as we try for a second attempt on the same set of tyres. We only have one more set available of soft tyres because of the allocation, so we have to make both runs count essentially, so we have to make this lap count. Turn 1, this time a little bit more cautious through here, you'll see, because of what happened last lap. We just lose a little bit of time and we're about 600ths down as we make our way up towards turn 4, braking at the curb. Losing the back end though, I just lock the rears and step out of bounds, and we also invalidate, so that's going to be it for the first runs, unfortunately. Ran out of fuel, couldn't really go for another lap, so with 2 minutes to go, fresh set of tyres, this is it. This is the final attempt, everything we've got. So, let's find out. Turn 1, spot the 100-meter board, that's going to be a reference, brake just before, down to third gear, and try to pick up your apex. I run a little bit wide, exit not too shabby, this time we keep it nice and stable over the curves as we open the DRS down by half a tenth. Now up towards turn 4, brake at the curb again, this time we don't lose the rear, a little bit wide of the apex though again there. We tried to take the nice wide line, but again we have some oversteer on the exit as the car didn't really settle on the curb too well. We then head through the downhill section, the lefts and the rights, again not really hitting any of the apexes so far. It hasn't been that smooth of a lap as we now head into turn 9, which feeds into the tricky turn 10. Straight line braking, third gear. I'm going to try to traction up on the curb here, as that is possible on the outside, but we get a bit of oversteer in the second phase, which is going to compromise the exit. Now then, turn 11, brake just before the 50, fifth gear, smooth on the power up the hill as we head into turn 12 and 13. End of sector 2, start of sector 3. Brake on the Rolex ball on the right as a reference, down to 4th, quickly up to 5th on the exit. That was pretty tidy through there. And now 1 corner to go, technically 2, but it's 1 kind of motion through there as you brake just after the detection point, about 80 meters. 4th gear quickly up to 5th, use all the runoff curb, and then open the DRS up to the line. Is it enough? No, it isn't. P18, and that is qualifying over for us. So, not ideal, not the best start. A scruffy lap followed by a scruffy first lap. So, yeah, work to be done in the race.
Months of rumour and speculation all comes to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Perez, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Russell, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ocon and Valtteri Bottas, Ricciardo, Zhou, Pierre Gasly and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Albon, Lance Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda. They've taken a grid penalty. Martinez and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. So we are here in 2022 at the start of another Formula 1 World Championship. It all begins here, the start of the next generation of Formula 1. With the end of the second turbocharged era, a new dawn begins. New regulations have been brought in to promote better racing, with the 2 big standout changes being the wheel size increase and the aerodynamics on the car itself. But will this result in us having a repeat fight for the Driver Championship? Will Mercedes retain their Constructors' title? We have lots to discuss then with Anthony Davidson, who's joined me in the commentary box for today's event.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Let's hope for some good racing today as well. We can't know at this point how competitive the teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody's able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
So, P19 for the first race of the season. Not exactly ideal. We actually qualified P20, but there's already been a penalty applied in this very first race. So, strategy for this one, I was a little bit torn in terms of what to do for tyres, but we're going to start on the hard tyre. I'm going to try and make it work. We might suffer in the first 5-6 laps, but hopefully after that, it should get better. Tyre wear should also be better than what is predicted in, for the race based off practice, because one, we practice in daytime, not nighttime, so track conditions are cooler, and also we have a bit less fuel in the car, along with also a tyre temperature adjustment. So in practice and qualifying, I was running nothing on the front and 2 clicks in the rear, so essentially 0 and 2. Now we're running 2 and 4, so this should give us possibly risky tyre temperatures. We could be flirting with the limits, but it will give us better tyre wear. So hopefully the trade-off is worth it. Anyway, guys, it's time. Leave a like, subscribe. It really helps me out. And let's get into this and let's see if we can hopefully have a decent race. I'm not expecting points, but let's try and beat our teammate, the Williams, and hopefully scrap with the Haas and Alfa Romeos and have a decent race. Right, here we go then. A new season of F1 racing. Not a bad start. Second phase, not so great as we pick up some wheel spin. Whoa! Bit of a change of direction there at the last moment in the braking zone from our teammate as we make our way through the first 3 corners. We're just going to get back ahead of Latifi there and clear him, which is good. Well, let's see how we get on as we lunge one up the inside of Stroll into turn 4. He was super early on the brake, so we're going to go through. And that's a nice move to make because Lance is on the same tyre as us, so that is very important. I feel like I've got absolutely no grip right now. As Sonoda popped one up the inside of his teammate into turn 8. Looking to get a bit more tyre temp as we go into turn 10 for the first time. Almost lost my wing there. Right, nicely done. So, we've put a bit of stress through our tyres, to be fair. We've taken a lot out of them on the first lap. If you look at that tyre wear, that's a bit more than I expected. So, we've kind of handicapped ourselves a little bit in terms of the one-stop strategy. Anyway, we'll see if we can still make it work. AI right now using all their battery. I think I'm also quite slow on the straight, just based off the AI's behaviour and their general straight line speed. Latifi, Stroll, the two Canadians battle away. We're going to try to drive off. The key thing here is trying to stay in DRS range, which won't be easy, but we'll give it our best shot. You can see we're just losing so much time on the straight. The AI though do use all their power in the first 2 laps, so we've just got to try and be patient and wait until the next lap. This is going to be close. We're probably not going to have DRS here, unfortunately.
Okay, DRS will be enabled at this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
The gap's huge. We gain a lot in turn 1, but the detection point is on the main straight, so we're not going to have DRS. I'm using all my battery here. Stroll's been dropped, so we clearly just don't have a fast car here. Try my best to catch up, but it's not easy. I think at DRS again now. I thought I might have got it, but clearly not. Again, I just missed out. That's frustrating. And now I'm pretty much out of battery, so I need to hope a mistake happens. The AI have very, very strong straight line speed. Right, here comes Latifi. I'm not going to fight if he commits to the move. I just don't have anything to fight with right now, so we'll let him look for a move. Hopefully he can just drag us along and he'll have just enough pace to catch up to the cars ahead. At least that's what I'm hoping for anyway. I've got no battery left, so we've just got to try and keep up as long as we can here, as best as we can. Hopefully their mediums will start to fade in a few laps time and we'll start to have an advantage. Yellow flag. That's up to turn 4. It's Ferrari, I can see. That's pulled over. Will we get an early safety car? Or will the action continue?
Okay, information on Sainz. They're retiring from the race.
So Sainz out of the race, that's another place for us. There he is, pulled over on the right. Keeping up with Latifi here quite nicely. We are catching the cars ahead. To be fair, there is a big train. If you look at the mini-map,
Green flag.
this train's being led by an Alpine, so it's keeping the field pretty compact and they're not allowed to really get away. So this is working quite well for us. And I think we might just get lucky here and the train might just reform. I'm trying to recharge my battery and not use any for the next 5-6 laps or so. Oh my god, another yellow. Who is it this time? 2 in 1 lap. I think it's an Alfa Romeo. Just caught a glimpse. Yes it is. Valtteri Bottas. Will that trigger a safety car? I don't think so. But we're down 2 cars. We're P17 now. And we're keeping up with Latifi. And we're on the brink of catching back up to the pack here. Things are looking up. Business is picking up. Hard tyres are definitely starting to work well now. I'm a lot more comfortable. We could have gone a little bit higher on tyre pressures actually. We're chilling in the mid to high 80s, so we could have gone probably another 2 clicks higher to be fair. Either way, we're looking pretty decent. Ocon into the pits. Possible damage. Also could have underfueled a little bit. Fuel is not an issue. But it could have gone literally up. Identical 29 laps of fuel. Personal best on that lap. Not too shabby. I've used a few dribs and drabs of battery here and there just to keep up. But I'm starting to notice now the tyres are starting to work, so the hard tyre is becoming the better option at this stage. Medium's starting to fade and we're keeping up a bit more easier now compared to before. Oh, bit of a moment there. Still got to be careful, this tyre does not feel brilliant. It feels better, but it does feel like I'm driving on ice at all times. Tyre wear's a bit higher than I hoped for. I think it's manageable. We'll be okay, but In hindsight, I could have gone even higher on the tyre pressures, to be fair. Either way, Latifi are close to getting back within DRS range. The train has spread out a little bit, so it now runs down to turn 1, but it's kind of broken up. Realistically, I think these next 4 cars in front are probably our rivals, along with Latifi, which makes it 5. So I think that train runs up to P11, so just shy of the points. Oh, Latifi, mistake. Lock up, and that's a free position for us. Lovely. Right, let's see if we can push on now. We don't need Latifi anymore. We've caught up to the cars ahead as Sonoda goes for the move on Albon. This will help bring us into play. Got to use the hard tyre now. Crucial phase of the race. Sonoda through. And we've now... Well, I'll say got DRS. I mean, never mind. You can see we're down quite badly in straight line speed terms.
We expect you'll be noticing a bit of grip loss in the tyres around now, so just be careful.
Wow, I don't know how I got damage there. I just brushed Latifi's right rear, but somehow no wing damage. Very lucky there. Very fortunate. Let's make sure we get the DRS on Albon here. And there we go, we've got it. Nice. Albon pits. There we go. We've also got Magnussen in there as well. So that's now P13 for us. Let's try and stick with Sonoda here if we can. We're back down to no battery as I'm trying to catch Sonoda and get his DRS. We've also dropped Latifi in the process, but we're out of battery again, which is a bit of a shame. Personal best, decent lap there, as plenty of cars are in this lap, so we'll move into the top 8. A safety car, or a virtual safety car now, would be absolutely wonderful. So Sonoda will probably pit this lap as he has been pushing, using up his battery. Norris also
Approaching the pit window, and you're going to be on mediums.
in the pits, but rejoins comfortably ahead. So P7, we've now got Alonso on the hunt behind us, looking to get back past. Stroll's still out there, of course. He's a bit of a mobile chicane for the faster traffic, which could be a good thing. Well, let's see, maybe we can latch on to Alonso. Probably not. Probably no match for the Alpine, but hey, listen, you never know. We might get lucky. We might be able to hold on somehow. Ocon's on the medium, so he's 2-stopping, which is interesting. Tyre wear warning has just come on. We're going to take a little bit of pain in this stint to hopefully have a smoother end to the race. And also, we're going to try and gamble on a safety car or a VSC, so we'll stay out for a couple more laps. We'll aim to pit around lap 17 maybe, possibly 18. Right, Alonso all over the back of us here. So this is a good time to pit and just basically get out of the way. Hopefully we won't ruin his race anymore. We've managed to save a little bit of battery. There comes Fernando. Up the inside. Had to close the door on him there. That was a bit of a half and half move. We're going to box though. Do not speed. And there we go. That's a lovely first stint. Maximised it pretty much. A few little errors here and there, but it was pretty decent pace. And now hopefully we'll reap the rewards by starting on the hard. Oh, it's a slow stop. All my hard work has been undone and I missed my pull away. Oh, the right rear, the left rear, one of the two was an issue. Well, that's not ideal.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
I mean, we're only just back behind Latifi, but that is a bit of a shame. Hopefully though we've got the tyres to fight, and we never know, we might be able to work our way back through a little bit. It's not over yet. Not over till it's over. Key thing now is to try and find tyre temp and stick with Latifi. Ideally hold on to DRS, but I don't think that's going to happen. Personal best middle sector. Latifi has a small moment there. Medium tyre working well. Let's try and get to work here and get these moves done. Ocon behind on that hard tyre is on the hunt, so important that we try to clear the Williams. There we go. We'll try not to use any battery, ideally.
Okay, you're within 1 second of the car ahead. Get ready to use DRS for the overtake.
Up the inside. Nice move, clean move. And we get the DRS for this one as well, so that was absolutely perfect. Right, let's chase after Albon and Tsunoda. They're going to keep battling. Car feels nice in these tyres. Say that. Instant jinx. A little bit annoying that we had a slow stop because we'd be right there right now with the time that we lost. Personal best. But we'd be right on the back of Albon and Tsunoda, battling with them. There's actually a chance of points this race. I'll tell you what, the train might just reform here. There's a pretty big scrap going on up ahead. I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful. There is a McLaren at the front trying to pull away and drag the cars, but if they keep battling, things could happen. We set a personal best without DRS, albeit using pretty much all my battery. Car feels good though. I'm slowly chipping away at Albon. We should get DRS on this lap. And there we go, another decent lap here, on for a personal best. Oh, I'm not going to get the battery though. I'm just going to miss out on the DRS. Running out of battery at the crucial point. We should get it on the next lap for sure. Okay, there we go, DRS on Albon. Let's look to get past him. Even if we don't get any more positions, let's just try and beat the Williams. Nice little drift through there. I think we're just going to focus on finishing ahead of Albon this race. There's not much more we can do. The point's just a little bit too far, a little bit too fast for me. So let's just try and get the Williams. Okay, Ocon has arrived. So we might have to look to put the move on Albon here. Let's use the battery that we've got. And we'll look to get by before Ocon overtakes us. Hopefully he can entertain himself trying to get past Albon. Out the inside. Lovely jubbly. Nice and clean. And we get the DRS. Sayonara. Let's try and break the 1 second barrier if we can. Although Ocon's getting stuck in straight away here. Come on Albon, hold on mate for a little bit. Just do me a favour, hold on until I pull away. Oh, there we go, he's actually stayed in front to be fair. I'll take a warning, I don't really care too much. Trying to push like crazy at this stage, and there we go, we've broken the DRS. So Charles Leclerc wins the opener. I believe Verstappen got the fastest lap. Ocon has now cleared Albon, is on the hunt using full power modes, but I think we're safe. We've got the gap, we used the battery at the right time. So we're going to get an Alpine today, we're going to get P14, and we're going to beat both Williams and our teammates. So we've done the best we can with what was given to us. And the points weren't a million miles away, they were just up the road. So encouraging signs to take the Jeddah. Verstappen, 13th.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Now then, one thing I'll say, I believe Verstappen got the race winning bug. I've seen it before where a driver will win a race and then for some reason they'll cross the line and get disqualified. I'm convinced I saw Max lead the race. If not, I could be wrong. Either way, he definitely finished second and he got pushed all the way down with that bug. So we actually finished in 13th, so the points really weren't that far. We was 5 seconds away from some points today, so that's encouraging, and we'll take that into Jeddah. Jeddah should be a stronger race for us, so I'm looking forward to that one. Leclerc's the winner though. Perez, Russell on the podium. Hamilton fourth ahead of Norris, Alonso, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Gasly and Mick. And yeah, we finish in 13th, and Ocon behind us. We managed to keep him at bay. Stroll 18th, and Bottas Sainz DNFing. So There's a lot, guys, for the first race. We'll take care of admin work at the start of the next episode. It's quite late. I want to try and get this episode out today, so I'm going to save time and say thank you for watching, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one in Jeddah. Until then, a massive shout out to the members, as always, for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on your screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.